so much, Harshita. Thank you so much for introducing us. Thank you so much, Meeta, for organizing this beautiful session that you organize every Wednesday. And I'd like to just do one small correction. I'm not a part of the Dehradun Literature Festival anymore, but it's wonderful to have Jayashree with us today. And I have met him many times, and I've had the great opportunity to be with him and learn from him, which is why today I thought of inviting him over to Sipping Thoughts to talk about many, many topics other than the last rites. But that is something that we want to start with, Jayashree. We want to know as to, very recently an incident happened where Mandira Bedi was seen doing the last rites for her husband. Rather than supporting her at that moment of distress, everyone was trolling her for wearing jeans and going to the cremation ground to do the do the cremation. So, first of all, what we have heard from many people is that women should not be allowed to the ghats, because most of the time when we see people going to do the last rites, we never see women going along with them. So, we want to know from you as to, is it true, first of all? And if not, what would you like to share with all of us?
Okay. Radhe Radhe. Again, thanks, Meeta ji, to organize this. And lovely, the way Anurag has put up the questions to me. But I'll share something with you. Who is an enemy and a friend of Dharma? Dharma का शत्रु कौन है और धर्म का मित्र कौन है? We have to just understand, because this is probably the point from where we see all these trollings happening on any of these rites and rituals and ceremonies that happen in India. So, who's the enemy and a friend of Dharma? It is not Adharma. Everybody says, the moment you say Dharma, they would say, oh, the Shatru of Dharma is Adharma. No. You know, the friend and the enemy of Dharma is Dharma Shastra. Both. And your interpretation of those Dharma Shastras leads you going to different ways, different roads, your different explanations. And it is not necessary there is something like Dharma in everybody. Everybody has their own Dharma. So this has to be understood very, very well, because, right, we are having this discussion because a celebrity and her husband left and she was wearing some Western clothes and doing it. But it just didn't matter, because as he asked me initially and about a couple of days back, so I was thinking, oh my God, means there was no need to even troll on a subject or which was something very personal, first of all. It's your life, the way you want to lead it. And if one has actually gone into the Shastras, there are always reasons very nicely put up. And as what is required today is how we explain those which is written in form of Sanskrit language or in Shastras, in Rig Veda, in Manusmriti, in Nirnay Sindhu, in Dharam Sindhu. These are few granthas where this the questions of today's session are there in Garud Puran. So first of all, I would like to put this completely to rest is Shastras does not say a woman cannot do last rites. Shastras does not say that she cannot do all those ceremonies that happen for those 13 days after somebody very dear to it has died. And I don't know, we have created this around, that we have to go a little back. When we all come to a point where there are all set of questions which people are asking, we have to go back little. Where does this whole thing started? What is the difference between a man and a woman? What is the difference? Just the core of all these things, because there is some responsibilities physiologically. This universe has bestowed on a woman. She can produce life, and which a man cannot. So there is something a man would somehow, I would not say today, men like you, me, or anybody else is feeling inferior about it. We have all accepted it. But as the understanding from the Shastras starts, and we relate for every answer which we have to the Shastras, they say that man is inferior in terms to producing life. So that if you have the responsibility to produce life, to create life, to give birth, then men tried to see that, oh, let's do it. You know, that patriarchal society or the male chauvinism and other things. So they said, okay, जन्म देने की जिम्मेदारी स्त्री की है, लेकिन जब मृत्यु होगी तो उसकी सारी जिम्मेदारी हमारी, जब उसके राइट्स होंगे वो सारे हम करेंगे. यानी दोनों ने आपस में अलग अलग एंड्स बांट लिए. Somebody, one is giving birth, one gender is giving birth, and you know, she's born that way. This whole world should be in full of gratitude. We all are existing because of that creativity that she can produce life. And just this inferiority, which has to be, you know, usko dhakne ka dhang. Then the moment you know that you are inferior with something, you try to pretend to be superior. And that pretension leads you to do a lot of things. And if somebody tries to challenge you somewhere, oh, then all these things started happening. But if I would say people who literally before speaking out, before having anything coming out, if they just go through the process, what is there written inside, how beautifully it has been expressed, you'd be surprised that the Shastras have never denied women. There is no point. But yes, Shastras has laid down certain things. We will come to a point when we'll share that why people or families would not want women to go to the Shamshan Ghat or for the last rites later. But this pretending to be superior, knowing in some way that we are inferior, we divided our works. And if somebody tries to, you know, enter into your area which you feel is yours, maybe the family which has seen performing it, nobody thought of even raising a voice over there. But people who were not related, who were thinking that they can poke their nose in everything, they poked it. And that's how we came to this point of trolling, and we are talking today here.
Thank you, Jayashree, for expressing it so well and explaining it so well. Now, I would like to ask Meeta as to how do you feel as a woman with this much clarity that Jayashree just gave about this topic, and how did you feel when you actually read that news about Mandira Bedi?
So Anurag, thank you for asking this question. That's why we are here, because जब मंदिरा बेदी की ट्रोलिंग हो रही है, then you feel कि what is the reason? Why are we so ruthless? A woman has lost her husband, and it's just that it's a social media marketing thing that you need to do something because you know that it is a TRP game, or it is actually people are getting bothered why a woman is doing the last rites. And I asked a few people that, and they all said it's not mentioned in Shastras. Then the question comes, why is it happening? And how beautifully you said, Shri Abhishek ji, that it's about insecurity, about inferiority. Nobody talked about it. Nobody said this. So that is where you are courageous to say that. No, because the society is made by men. It's a patriarchal society. No man comes forward and says this is why this is so.
No, but I'll tell you, I come from a city. I come from Vrindavan. And this is a place where we don't glorify Krishna first. We glorify Radharani first. We all say Radhe Radhe to begin with. And, you know, there is one saying in Vrindavan which says, Bin Radhe Krishna Adhe. Means this is what I think the devotion, the path of devotion gives you. And this is what we have learned throughout. I don't think that there is any place in religion where somebody can come and just, you know, meddle into other people's affairs. And initially, when we started this talk, I said, what does dharma means? Dharma does not mean by there is one single thing. You know your own dharma. If you know your dharma, then you're on the right path. Dharma does not mean, poking into others' affair or sharing something what they have done wrong. It's about righteousness. It's just about your conduct, the way you see things around yourself. And if you are clear, it's okay. And when I was going through the third mandala of Rigveda and Manusmriti and Garud Puran, only for this particular talk, because these kind of topics will not come up so often as a part of discussion, though they should. And it should actually enlighten people to see that what is actually, being said into Shastras, and otherwise we'll bring up a panel of a lot of people who are radicals from this, and they say, nahi, Shastra mein yahi likha hai. But if we put it very nicely, when you said this was all happening and we were ruthless for her, I would say, I loved the idea when Mallika Sarabai's mother passed away, Mrinalini ji. And the last, if anybody in my disciple community, anybody dies, the first thing that I say to them is give a grand see-off. Make sure that you give the person a grand see-off. And if they have lived their life totally with what? Well, they have drenched themselves into dance. And there she was lying in their Darpan Academy in Ahmedabad. And here Mallika comes up just to give that last offering to her. What could have been more beautiful than that? So it's not just once. Okay, she came up because she's a known person. She is, she's a celebrity in her own sense. But at the same time, if one has to understand exactly what is happening, then there has been Atal Bihari Vajpayee's foster daughter. She did the last rites of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And again, these questions have been coming up on and on. See, it's how you have lived. I wear dhotis and kurtas, and if you told me, come on, how he's looking, look, everything is flowing, the air is passing through, but I feel comfortable in my skin. It's about your own self. It's not about what one was wearing. And see, there are beauties, like today, this medium that we are sharing this discussion and talk, social media, we are using it in the best way. But when we actually goof up something, or we just create unnecessary stories, then we really don't know how we should be using social media. It's personal moment, it's personal affair. Over to you.
Thank you, Meeta. Would you like to continue telling about your experience, and also ask Jayashree about your next question?
Mm-hmm.
So, Shri, what you are explaining, I resonate with it, because normally, as you said, that people don't speak like this. And we know that calling somebody to speak on this from a spiritual background or from a religion or Shastra, we were scared that it will be a very typical answer that aisa hi hota hai, Shastra mein aisa nahi likha hai. But yeah, you gave us a very different perspective that we are decoding it. It's not meant, and people are decoding it for their different interest. So
exactly.
But we women have a lot of complaint from Shastras. Honestly speaking, there's no beautifying my statement, because Sita, we say, what is the life? Draupadi, what is the life? And so my question starts with Sita, that the way Sita has been role modeled, her husband is the Maryada Purushottam Ram. And we worship Ram, so it means we are happy with whatever happened to Sita's life. Being a woman, I ask, should I have all the gods in my house, so I ask that, should I worship Ram, who left his wife in the jungle or asked her to do a Agni Pariksha? People say Ram didn't say. He was a Maryada Purushottam, he was born like that, but I never got my answer.
See, I'll share something very interesting here. When you watch a film and you see a set of characters playing some roles in the films, and those people who are playing those roles have been pre-written. There is someone who has decided that this person has to play this role. And you, out of that TV screen, is basically thinking, Arey Pagal, do something like this. He should have, this is the wrong decision. Means we are on the outer side. Sometimes what happens is Sachin Tendulkar is playing cricket and उसके पास से कोई बॉल निकल कर जाती है तो I think half of India says, oh, उस तरह से shot मारना चाहिए था. But we are not in his shoes. We are not standing on the playground. You know, when you say, as I said, that in a movie, the character is there. The person, मुझे आनंद इस बात का लगता है कि जो किरदार निभाने के लिए हम आए थे, हमने वो किरदार पूरा निभा दिया. और आप समझना कि उसके बाद के लोगों ने उस पर कितनी परिवर्तन किए, we are not aware of it. We are getting a very later version of exactly what has come to us through rishis, through shastras, through people who have been interpreting and whatever. Have you ever been into the original Valmiki Ramayana to talk about it? You've heard it from people. But if Ram, suppose, has come as Ram, as Maryada Purushottam Ram, and if this entire, his sketch, the character sketch of Ram is written as Ram, then everything fits into that character building of what Valmiki has wrote it. Can you imagine? Valmiki Ramayana was written before Ram would come. It was not that, no. Ram did not come first and then Ramayana was written. No.
We didn't know that.
Yeah. So Valmiki Ramayana first wrote Ramayana and then Ram came down. Yes.
So it means it's a script written and then it's role played.
It's role played. Not in the sense of a drama, but actually the divine, the Purushottam, incarnated on this planet. Because once Valmiki was writing it, Valmiki literally thought that if this is the person, the character, then this is exactly how he would perform. So basically, Ram came after Valmiki Ramayana was written. So normally you cannot have any changes. Ram exactly came as if it's, the scripture became life, very living, the moment Ram came into existence. So everything happened according to the scripture. All Ravan things and everything that happened, you'll be surprised that when I was asked to speak on Ram recently on Ram Navami, and I said, I will not speak on Ram because we should understand what happened before Ram came. And when we say Ram, we literally feel an amazing connection to it. Tulsi Das Ramayana is just 500 years old. Valmiki Ramayana is ageless. Tulsi Dasji Goswamiji wanted it to become more simplified for people who could not understand Sanskrit. So it was written in a very poetic way. But if you go through the original text, so normally what happens is the character was played accordingly. And I would say Ram played it wonderfully. And I'll tell you one thing. At a time, because you're talking about 5,000 and 10,000 years back, you really don't know what was the situation, how people behaved. Means how after every 50, 100 years, our life changes, our thoughts changes, our decision changes. That is how the way the scriptures have been. Life and decisions have been changing. If Ram would have not lived that way, he would have been questioned.
Okay, my last question, then I'll hand it over to Anurag for his question. So why do we worship Ram?
See, for exactly the way he had come, the way when you say Maryada Purushottam, he was there to instill Maryada in the entire length and breadth of this country or this world. It was how one should behave, what kind of a brother one should be, what kind of a person one should be. And at that point of time, Rajya, the kingdom mattered more than the personal life. So the decision has always been taken. See, here what happens is in these questions, वो एक उठता है ना प्रश्न के पहले क्या आया और उसके बाद क्या आया, पहले किसी का जन्म हुआ या पहले कौन सा पैटर्न पर आया. तो we get into a vicious circle of processes of thoughts. But I'll share these things in few respects, because Bhagwan Ram and Sita ji has been one story which is thousands of years, and we are understanding so many different interpretations that people have made. But if I bring you stories of, say, Kabir, of Draupadi, which are much more closer, not that far away, it will give you an insight. You will be surprised. Why? Because these things have happened. Kalidas is a great scholar. And have you ever realized that Kalidas once met Saraswati ji? He was traveling and crossing a village, and then he saw a woman standing on the well, and so she was taking out water. And as she was taking out water, Kalidas felt thirsty, and he went. And he went to that lady and said, "Can you please offer me some water?" So the lady said, "Okay, tell me who you are. Introduce yourself first." Now listen, where this question of who you are would take, I would love to narrate. See, I'm a storyteller. And I love to share these stories because they have such deep meanings in them. Imagine that lady who looked like a village woman. Who would she understand? Kalidas thought that I am a great poet. How will a woman from village would even realize who a poet is or who a scholar is? So he says, "I am a traveler." Kalidas just said to that woman, "I am a traveler." So the lady said, "Oh, there are only two travelers in this world. One is sun and one is moon. And they perpetually rise and set. But you are not a traveler, because there are only two travelers. If you say that you are a traveler, then either you are sun or either you are moon." So Kalidas just said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Okay, tell me who you are. Introduce yourself." She said, "Okay, I am a guest. I am just a guest on this planet." The lady promptly said that there are only two guests, and two guests are wealth and youth. There are no other guests in this world, in this universe. There are only two guests. One is youth and one is wealth. And they both are temporary. They just come to all of you as guests. Smiled a little bit of Kalidas, because now somebody was challenging him. And then he said, "Okay, I am a tolerant person. मैं एक सहनशील व्यक्ति हूँ." And the lady replied, and the lady said, "Oh, you are a tolerant person, but there are only two things that are tolerant on this entire planet." He says, "Okay, which are the two things that are tolerant?" One is Bhumi and one is Vriksha. Whatever you do this Bhumi with earth, and you throw these stones at the trees and still get fruits. So there are no other person then being tolerant. There are only two tolerant people. Both nurture. The Bhumi nurtures and the tree nurtures. Kalidas was perplexed. He said, "Surprised, kisse ulaj gaya?" He felt she is just a village woman carrying water out from the well. Now she'll go home, cook some fruits, food for the family, sweep the floors. This is how we have our intentions towards women. He never realized that he'll bump into somebody like that who challenge him. Okay, she said, "Who are you then? You have still not introduced yourself." So he said, "I am very stubborn." He said, "I am really stubborn." The lady smiled and said, "But there are only two things that are stubborn, which are hairs and nails. Kitna bhi kaato bharte chale jate." Oh my God, Kalidas never realized that he could have somebody equal to him. He could mince with words, and he was seeing that he was losing the battle here. And then Kalidas, being a little patient because the conversation has got so far away, and said, "Okay, I am a fool." You know, finally, when a person doesn't have anything to say, "Aap kya kehte ho? Main to pagal." So a person like Kalidas could say, "I am a fool." So she said, but there are only two fools. One is a king who without capability rules, and his minister who's a sycophant who just praises the king. दो ही fools हैं और कोई fool ही नहीं है. Kalidas realized that I have been outsmarted and fell at the feet of the lady, and he surrendered. Mata Saraswati arose. And as Mata Saraswati came there, she was standing and she said to him, I know Kalidas, you are wise, but only if you know yourself do you become a human being. The problem we are having this debate is people don't know themselves. That's why they are not human beings. They're born in this body. They have just got this body, but they don't know themselves. They actually should just make an initiative to first know themselves. Then none of these trollings will happen. Nobody will question. It's their life. Imagine, I read a lot about those posts that were coming in about Mandira Bedi doing it and everything. But a 10-year-old son that she has means my wife passed away 4 years back, and I didn't want my sons to see my wife having been offered fire. But as I asked them to go in the car back to my house, and my both sons saw it and could not sleep the whole night. They asked the driver to stop, just see why people are gathered and why our mother is there at the huts and all that. And when I came back home, my children at 2 o'clock at night were awake and they asked me, why did we set mom on fire? And I'll tell you one thing, we escape such questions. We say, okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow, but no, that was the night. And when I literally had to sit down with them and I had to say that this is how it is. Means why this fire procedure happens? Because you have such attachment with a person, and you will keep lingering if something or the other. Suppose even if a person is in coma for years together, there is an attachment that today some miracle might happen. But when things are set on fire, you know the story is over. The physical body has left. The remains have gone into the Panch Tattva. And then these questions started. So my younger, he was only 5 years that time. And my elder one was about 9 years. And he said to me, so where has she gone? And I had no other answer in that time of myself. I said, oh, she's just got inside me now. So I'm both mother and father. So he said, okay, then can we Google it? See, a 9-year-old boy says, can we Google it? And yes, we Googled it. And what did I Google? I showed him the picture of Ardhanarishwara. And I told him, see, half is women and half is men. He says, why there is, it is visible and it's not visible here. I said, oh, they are gods. That is visible because you can see them both meeting. But today when she joined me, so this is how I will be always for you. Ardhanarishwara, half mom and half dad. That's why I told you that we should actually change our interpretation of Shastras today. It's required.
I really feel that, you can just keep going on and on. I usually am not a very patient listener. And I do get, literally, I get cramps when I listen to someone for so long. But when you were telling your story, especially your personal story, I think it is how we should see manhood. I think most of the men would shy away saying that they are now a half mother, or they would shy away from saying that they are equal as their mother or father. So I think you have given an example how an ideal man should be. So it is beautiful how you explained to your children, how you explained to us about different things. Even though I do not wish to ask questions because I keep wanting you to keep going on, but to make sure that you keep going on, I have to ask more questions. And Jayashree, I want to ask something, but before that, I would like to make it very clear to everyone who's listening to us that by asking these questions that we are asking, that Meeta and I have asked, we do not want to hurt anyone's sentiments. We do not want to hurt anyone's religious beliefs. We are asking these questions because we are curious to know about them. And among us, there's so many people who are listening to us. There's so many people who sent their questions. So these are questions that I would call myself an Agyani who would not have so much time to go back and literally read through Rig Veda or read through the scriptures that have been written, which is why we have Jayashree, who's an expert, who has Vedic knowledge, who's here to share those knowledge with us, which is why we are asking these questions. And you too have the opportunity to ask the questions in the chat box, which we will take towards the end. So Jayashree, my next question to you is that, I've been working for many years on this project called WASH project, which is on menstrual hygiene. And most of the time we have seen across this country so many taboos that women go through when menstruation is brought into the picture. But one reason which I have not been able to understand practically what is the reason behind it is that why are women not allowed inside the temple? Now, there is one temple in the northeast, which is of the Devi temple, the Kamakhya Devi temple, where menstruation is worshipped. She's celebrated there. And then there's so many other temples where women are not allowed when they're on their periods. And instances where college girls were asked to take off their underwears to test them, to try to see whether they were menstruating or not. I think it is ridiculous. So being someone who's a scholar of your stature, what would you like to say about it?
See, I will only share things that, could be shared on a platform like this regarding that. And because we have a lot of people listening to this discussion today. When you say a scholar or an expert, no, I'm not. I'm a seeker. I'm a student of this, the huge library of the Shastras that has been given. And I always would like to stay like that. And it's sometimes I would say that, no, I don't find myself qualified enough to answer every question that comes to me. Means that there should be, you should say to this yourself, that there can be few answers which can hurt people. There are few answers that people might feel that, oh, he's not done justice to it. It's sometimes because I don't want to delve into it so much. But again, that you have raised this menstruation question with me today, I'll tell you, see, as I initially started this talk, I said, Dharam ka sabse bada shatru kaun? Dharam Shastra. Remember this. जिस आदमी ने लिखा था, जिसने उस शास्त्र की रचना करी थी, वो उसकी जीवन शैली थी. It was his lifestyle. The times were different. Those times were thousands of years back. And we should have kept on evolving. But no, we stick on to those Shastras and the concept written over there. We have grown in everything. The moment something comes to us at a personal level, we start talking and thinking about today, but we talk about others and pinpoint or finger at other people. We always go back to the Shastras to say, dekho kya kar raha hai. So when you said about menstruation, this was something which was practiced long, long back. Still, yes, relevant, because people feel that there are some hygiene issues, as you all know that everybody talks about these things. But what is the main concern here? Why is women given time to rest? I literally relate because Draupadi was Rajaswala. The term that you use during the menstruation process in Sanskrit is called Rajaswala. And her husbands were playing those dices with Kauravas. She was in one house sitting on a mat when she was pulled by her hairs and brought into the court of Dhritarashtra. So when you say that why was she kept separately and what had happened during that time, is all those questions because there were not so much advancement in the hygiene practices or available products available in the market to see that the women could actually see that the odor, because if you go into an ocean and if suppose blood is coming out from one of your wounds, it is said that the sharks and other animals in the water can smell it and run towards you to eat you up. So wherever those 5, 6, 7 days a woman was kept actually inside, nobody would visit because there were no hygiene processes. And she would stay indoors because there were ways that, the kind of smell, the blood, the other things that would attract insects, that would attract other things. So if she stays indoors, that was good for her. She was working throughout. You all have now vacations and Saturdays and Sundays, but primitively women had no holidays. So somebody who was quite thoughtful said that if she stays and she is going through this hormonal changes and the body is going through changes on a monthly way, then she needs rest. So she was given time to be restful. She was given time so that she does not have to fill these wishes of all the other people in the family. She was not allowed to move out because animals like lions or others would smell, who has far more smelling capacities than animals or than human beings, would be attracted towards her that somebody is going in that direction. It was to safeguard that. But now the times have changed. People who talk about it, they don't follow it in their houses. I live in Vrindavan. A lot of people who would create scenes and dramas around these hygiene and other things, well, they would not just come out with things that how well they maintain this time. But when we say the temple is a place where you should say, see, there are two words, first of all, to understand. One is swachhata and one is pavitrata. So you would say that all these places are swachha, but are we pavitra? If you yourself know what is pavitrata, then somebody would bar herself, or the family would say, no, you should not go to the temple because you are a swach, you have taken bath, everything is fine. But at some portions of time, but with all these developments that has happened regarding to that, if people start moving out, if people starts to do something else, you cannot abandon, because I said again, I'm disqualified to say why these rules were laid down thousands of years back. But if there were definitely some reason which was to safeguard and protect, because this platform where we first met and talked, somebody said, औरत को जाना ही नहीं चाहिए शमशान की तरफ. So again, that was for what reason? One simple reason. बहुत सुकोमला है, बहुत सुलक्षणा है. How beautiful terms can be used for women. अरे जो अपने बेटे के सुई नहीं गड़वा सकती वैक्सीन के दौरान, वो क्या किसी के शमशान में जाकर उसको मुखाग्नि देने का सामर्थ्य रखती. जो एक अटैचमेंट है, आदमी बहुत जल्दी डिटैच्ड हो जाता है, लेकिन स्त्री बहुत जल्दी डिटैच्ड नहीं हो पाती. और अगर उसके हाथ में थमा दिया जाए कुछ, something is asked her to you do it, I would say that a lot of women would have fainted right there, maybe left her body, because she felt, oh, giving fire means giving fire to self. So we have to be a little considerate towards what has happened in the past. And also when we make our judgments, because I would say that nobody stands a chance in this world to come up to a judgment. We always are in a process of learning and understanding from what we have heard from our past and what we will see in the future. Maybe there are more scientific advancements of saying that a lot of things will not happen and a lot of things will be, the hygiene will be taken care of. Others, then we'll see what future has in store for this menstruation process.
Thank you, Jayashree. That was very insightful, and I very strongly believe that yes, whatever you have said has made so much sense and made so much more sense to people in the audiences. Meeta, would you want to ask something? After which we can take the audience questions as well.
We have a lot of questions. I don't think we can do justice to all because audiences are waiting to ask their questions, and it will be unfair for them.
No, but I was just reading one message on my screen here, and somebody said that we are deviating from the topic that we had initiated. So before I take questions, I literally had another story to share with the audience and all of you here, which is pertaining to what we decided to talk about. You'll be surprised that there was a time when Ramakrishna Paramhans was very sick, and he was about to, leave his body. He had cancer. And when he had cancer, this whole thing, the Sharda Ma was taking care of him. And as Sharda Ma was taking care of Ramakrishna Paramhans, so every time when she realized, because Ramakrishna Paramhans was a foodie, anything that used to be cooked, he used to rush, leaving his disciples, lecture, everything, to the kitchen to Sharda Ma to taste it, what has been cooked, because his nostrils used to be filled with the aroma of the spices that was cooked in the kitchen. And Sharda Ma used to push him to go back and sit there because people are waiting to hear. They have come for your darshan. Why are you coming out? So one day, Ramakrishna Paramhans said to Sharda Ma that if the day, mere paas koi vasana nahi hai. If you coming people from Bengal would understand, agar koi budha Bengali bolega to kaise bolega? Mere paas koi vasana nahi. ये खाने का जो स्वाद है, ये वासना पकड़ रखा है मैं. जिस दिन इसको त्यागूंगा, after 3 days I will leave the body. Just after 3 days. Sharda Ma was okay because he was again rushing to the kitchen. One day she was cooking the most amazing dishes for him again. And she realized that today Ramakrishna has not entered the kitchen. And as it, she literally started, she put the whole thing in a thal and brought him to the bed where he was lying down. So he did not even turn back. The aroma did not even made him take a karvat on the bed. He just raised his hands and said, 3 days. Only after 3 days I will leave this body. Oh, that thal literally slipped off Ma Sharda's hands. And as that thal slipped off her hands, she just started weeping. And I don't think she stopped weeping till the time Ramakrishna Paramhans just lost his self, lost his temper at his wife, Ma Sharda, and said, "Kya roti hai? Why do you cry?" इसलिए रोती है because बंगाल में आपके सौभाग्य का, आपके शादीशुदा होने का जो प्रतीक है, सिंदूर है. You have a red colored dhoti that you wear. You have something in your hands, that shlaka that you wear. You put those altas in your feet, which makes the red boundaries on your feet. So these are all those things that a lot of women, even now in Bengal, do it. So do you cry just because this all will be off? They will break your bangles and they will rub off your sindoor from your forehead. They will change the color of your sari. So this is exactly in rage Ramakrishna Paramhans said to Ma Sharda. And Ma Sharda said, she was speechless how to answer it. She said, अगर तेरा संबंध मुझसे मेरे शरीर से हुआ है तो तू हमेशा विधवा रहेगी, लेकिन अगर तेरा संबंध मेरी आत्मा से हुआ है तो तुझे कोई विधवा कभी बना नहीं सकता. And exactly that time, about 130-140 years back, when he left his body, at that Bengal where destitute women have filled up the streets of Vrindavan and Varanasi, all those people who are shaven off and sent by one-way ticket back to Vrindavan, who live in these bhajanashrams, singing the glories of the Lord and eating whatever they get in those bhikshas all around. She could have been just one of those, but she was at that point of time Ma Sharda, who realized and lived that she is not a vidva, she is a sadhva. Nobody rubbed off the sindoor, nobody literally changed her sari, nobody broke her bangles, and she lived like that always. It's you, it's your relationship. You know, a few years back when we were having this festival and when me and Anurag had met, I can share one clip from Times of India. I wanted to rename those women of Vrindavan, which we called the widows of Vrindavan, into Krishna Vadhus of Vrindavan. I suggested that idea to a lot of organizations and the government that time. And I said, because जो विवाह है एक मनुष्य का, चाहे वो पुरुष हो चाहे वो स्त्री हो, वो विवाह उसका आत्मा के साथ हो रखा है। और हम जो वृंदावन वासी हैं, हमारी आत्मा का जो संबंध है अगर कृष्ण से है, तो फिर कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है कि कोई स्त्री हो कि कोई पुरुष हो। यहाँ सारे रासलीला के अंदर गोपी ही थे और हम सब कृष्ण वधू हैं, तो क्यों ना हम उस विडोज ऑफ वृंदावन के नाम को कृष्ण वधूज ऑफ वृंदावन परिणित कर लेते। That was just one suggestion that we made, and I have those still because it was carried on the front page of Times of India. And that's why I thought the people should know there has been women like that. There has been women, because as you said that we, people call us feminists. No, it's not that. You just have to bring those characters out from the Shastras. If those come like Ma Shardas, like Kabir's wives, Kabir ke upar कर्ज पड़ गया। Kabir used to invite 500 people a day to eat food at his house. और उनकी पत्नी 500 लोगों का खाना बना के बड़ी खुश थी, बहुत खुश थी। और रोज एक दिन एकदम अचानक 200 लोग आए। And she rushed from the back door to that shopkeeper. Please give me some ration. I don't have any ration at home. And Kabir has invited so many people at home. What will you call death? Why even certain things even have to be talked about when there are endless great stuff about these women? आप कहोगे अगर मेरी इज्जत मिट्टी में मिल गई तो मेरी मृत्यु हो गई, यही कहते हैं ना। मेरा नाम खराब हो गया तो मेरी मृत्यु हो गई। लेकिन इमेजिन, मैं कबीर की बात कर रहा हूं। कबीर की पत्नी एक शॉपकीपर के पास जाती है, ग्रोसरी स्टोर पर, कहती है कुछ दे दो क्योंकि 200 लोग बैठा लिए हैं घर पर, कुछ भी नहीं है। एंड द शॉपकीपर सेज कि ना, बात खत्म हो गई, तेरे यहाँ भंडारा चलता रहे और मेरी दुकान साफ हो जाए। तो शी सेड बट ही इज इनवाइटेड, कुछ दे दो, आज दे दो, बात खत्म। लेकिन उस शॉपकीपर का कुछ अट्रैक्शन था, इन्फैक्चुएशन था कि वो कबीर की पत्नी को बड़ा पसंद करता था। उसने कबीर की पत्नी के आगे एक छोटा सा प्रपोजल रखा कि आज तब दूंगा जब तू मुझे कुछ दे। तो कबीर की पत्नी ने सहज पूछ लिया कि बताओ क्या देना है, कि मेरे साथ एक रात रहना पड़ेगा। कबीर की पत्नी मैं शास्त्रों में सोचता हूं बहुत सुंदर रही होगी, और न भी रही हो तो कबीर जैसे व्यक्ति के पास कौन कुरूप रह जाए? Who will stay ugly close to Kabir? She must have become very beautiful. And when that shopkeeper said to her कि आज रहना पड़ेगा, तो उसने कहा ठीक है, वायदा करती हूँ, आज रात आपके पास आ जाऊंगी। And she left with all that grocery to her husband's house. और जम के सबको खिलाया पिलाया, सब कुछ किया। जब सब चले गए तो she started decorating herself. She started just preparing herself. And Kabir asked her अंदर आकर, अरे सोने का समय है, तू तैयार क्यों हो रही? We talk about relationships on a very superficial level. We talk about what one did because of what reason, but we have not talked about what's the depth of relationship. कबीर ने पत्नी से पूछा, पत्नी को लगा छुपाने की क्या बात है, उसने बोल दिया आज खत्म हो गया था राशन. I went to that shopkeeper and he wanted to sleep with me. तो उसने कहा अच्छा फिर तुमने क्या जवाब दिया? मैं वचन दे आई कि आऊंगी, मैं वचन दे आई कि मैं आज रात को आऊंगी. And I walked. And उसने कहा अच्छा, और घमासान बारिश पड़ने लगी, इतनी बारिश पड़ने लगी चारों तरफ जिसकी कोई सीमा नहीं थी. तो वहां पर कबीर ने देखा तैयार हुई बैठी है, इंतजार कर रही है, जाना है, वचन दे आई है. तो कबीर ने कहा चल मैं ले चलता. कबीर ने कहा मैं ले चलता. तो कबीर ने छाता खोला, बिल्कुल उसको छाते के बीच में लिया, खुद भीगता रहा और ले जाकर अपनी पत्नी को उस दुकानदार के घर पर ले गया. And he took her over there and said, now we are at the door, तू कराघात कर, और इतनी बारिश है, जब तुम निबट लोगे तो वापस कैसे जाएगी, मैं यहीं बाहर बैठ जाता हूं छाता लेकर. तो वहां पर कबीर कोने में बैठ गए और कबीर बैठकर इंतजार करने के लिए कि जब पत्नी निकलेगी तो साथ लेकर चलूंगा. दरवाजा खुला, बारिश देखकर वो दंग रह गया. उसने कहा कमाल है, इतनी बारिश में आई और तू भीगी नहीं है. तो उसने कहा वो छाते में आई थी. कि छाते में आई थी तो भी कैसे बच गई? कि मेरे साथ कबीर आए, वो मुझे यहां छोड़ गए. तो उन्होंने कहा कबीर अब कहाँ है? वो अंदर से पूरा हिल गया था. वो एकदम जब हिला तो उसने बाहर भाग कर देखा तो कोने में कबीर बैठे थे. कबीर जब बैठे थे तो उसने जाकर उनके पांव पकड़ लिए और कहा कि आपके आगे क्या कहूं, धन्य है. हम सारे सुपरफिशियल लेवल की चर्चा कर पाते हैं. आप समझना वहां कबीर को कोई दिक्कत नहीं थी उस समय तक, क्योंकि कबीर थे. कबीर का पुत्र कमाल था. कबीर की पत्नी महा कमाल रही होगी, जिसने अपने पति से कहा, जाने को तैयार हो गई. उसने कहा नहीं नहीं, बहुत बड़ी गलती हो गई मुझसे, मुझे क्षमा करें. मुझे क्या पता था. हम बात छोटी छोटी सी करते हैं, उसने ये क्यों किया? वो उसका धर्म था. Why did somebody set funeral pyre? Was her dharma. Your dharma was to see that, oh my God, how she stood, how she said that my son's life should not be scarred by seeing that fire. She made everything in such a bold way. This is how I think I perceive this today's discussion. I will see if we have some questions. We will take them.
Anurag, you will ask questions.
Archita is asking the questions now. She has few questions with her.
Yeah.
Shri, I have one question to you. Is the myth about moksha prapti when women do the last rites true? And if yes, what is the reason behind it?
No. Just say it again.
The myth about moksha prapti when women do the last rites.
No. मोक्ष इतनी छोटी चीज नहीं है कि अगर स्त्री करेगी तो मोक्ष नहीं मिलेगा और अगर कोई पुरुष करेगा तो मोक्ष मिलेगा. मोक्ष का संबंध उस चीज से है ही नहीं. It is not related to who did the last rites. It's with what you did before dying. What that person did before dying. That is related to moksha. The second question.
Yeah, I'll unmute Swati Govil for her question.
Yeah. Abhishek ji, my question is that why are women supposed to do fasting on every religious occasion every month, and why men have to do it on a very restricted occasion like Navratri? So I have seen a lot of women fasting. Even I do some fasting. But whenever I have asked why we are doing this, people tell me that it is customary. It is defined in the custom and we have to do it.
Okay. There are no such customs which says, to women to just keep fasting. And, things have changed. We have to realize that. And when we say that a woman is forced, yes, she has been forced. She has been forced from centuries. What is the real difference between man and women? It's of the conditioning. There is no difference as personas, as personalities. It's the difference of conditioning, how the conditioning of a girl's mind has been done and how the conditioning of a boy's mind has been done. I think this particular time has come when we have to start seeing how we condition the girls. हमने कुछ रूढ़िवादी परंपरा बनाई है बहुत सारी चीजों की. ये फास्टिंग वाला प्रोसेस बिल्कुल, see, I live in Vrindavan and I'll tell you one thing very clearly. For me, my puja, my seva would say, if I feel comfortable, I will stay without food only till that time. I would not starve myself. I would not weaken myself. I would not feel very fragile. And I have to do it because it's considered that it has to be done. Please, it's coming from, from the Mother Godeshwar beat, that what you feel comfortable. Let me tell you, who is a santa? If you all can be santa, जब भूख लगे तो खा लो, जब आंख खुले तो उठ जाओ, जब मन करे, जो मन की मौज में रहता है वो संत है. अगर आपने डिफाइन कर दिया कि आपके पैरामीटर्स में कोई व्यक्ति संत की तरह से बिल्कुल सच धज कर आ जाए, ये बड़ा इनकम्प्लीट लगेगा, बड़ा अगली लगेगा. आप समझो मजाक किस बात में है कि जो करो उसमें मस्ती आ जाए. और अगर व्रत करने के दौरान भी अपने ऊपर एक सेल्फ डाउट, अपने ऊपर भी आपके प्रश्न उठते हैं, तो आप समझना बिल्कुल बेकार बात है. व्रत का वास्तविक मतलब ये है जहां मन भी खाने की इच्छा छोड़ दे. आपका मन पहले छोड़ता है तब शरीर छोड़ता है. और मन 24 घंटे खाना चाहता हो और शरीर या बाहर से या कस्टम्स या परिवार या लोगों की वजह से अगर हम किसी चीज को बाध्य करते हैं तो अधूरा हो गया, फिर तो वो फास्ट ही नहीं रहा.
Yeah, there was one question from Mudit Jain. He's here with us.
ये बताओ कितने क्वेश्चंस हम ले सकते हैं, ask Shri ji, because it's 4:58.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. But if anybody has, you can always share it with me. We can share with people and we can see whatever we have. But I still would say that it has been. अब मैं आपको धन्यवाद करूँ, आप सबका आभार that I was invited. ऐसा कोई खास परिचय भी नहीं था, कुछ भी नहीं था. But Anurag, thank you so much. And Meeta ji, so beautiful. Thank you so much. We had a lovely session with you. You had really nice things to share with me and आभार.
ना ये हमारा सौभाग्य है. और इतने सारे क्वेश्चन जो हमने आपको भेजे भी थे, जिस पर हम बात करना चाह रहे थे, वो भी सारे बचे हुए हैं. तो आपको फिर से आना पड़ेगा उसमें. आप ना आए तो हमें जाके लाना पड़ेगा. लेकिन ये हम एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन ले ले, क्योंकि हर्षिता ने उनको क्वेश्चन like she was taking it.
Yes, please.
Last question ले ले.
Okay. Thank you, Goswami ji. Just curious, and this is without any prejudice or any, cobwebs in my mind. Why is Lord Krishna's wife not given much importance? Thank you.
Okay. Oh, you're okay. देखिए, आपको एक बात बताऊं, शायद थोड़ा सा इसमें समझने में फेरबदल हो गई. हमें जिस तरीके से इंटरप्रेट किया गया है उसमें हमें लगता है कि भगवान कृष्ण की जो पत्नी है रुक्मिणी, उनको उतनी इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं दी गई. और आप समझिएगा कि अगर पर्सनल लाइफ में भी देखा जाए, जैसी अवस्थाएं हैं हमको, जैसे हम माहौल में रहते हैं, तो lot of people have made a mockery out of this particular stuff that Radha Rani is in Vrindavan. She is, one has to actually understand who Radha Rani is. Radha Shabda is like a shadow, is like a parchai. And they are inseparable. And when we say that the story, the way the story relates, I have seen that people have understood the story of Krishna. They have heard it endless number of times, but they have missed out completely who Radharani is. And, importance has always been given as a wife to Rukmani ji. But normally what happens when these relationships happens? There has been a discussion. You might just understand. There was a discussion between all the wives of Krishna with Draupadi. All the wives of Krishna met Draupadi to ask her, we are 16,108 to be precise in number. And yet, you are the only friend Krishna has as a female. I don't know half of you know it or not, but Draupadi was a Sakhi. She was not a sister. She was a Sakhi, and the only Sakhi that Krishna had. So when every time Draupadi wanted Krishna, Krishna would leave Rukmani, leave 16,107 wives and everyone, and rush into those jungles to be with Draupadi. So all these wives today, one day thought that let's surround Draupadi and ask her, what is so special about being a friend? And, we are wives to Krishna and we don't have time with him. So Draupadi very clearly said, see, this is from Mahabharata. Draupadi said to Krishna's wives, what do you say when you relate to Krishna? Tum mere ho. Tum mere ho. And what do I say? मैं तुम्हारी. आपको बताऊं, एक रिलेशनशिप की एक गरिमा है. और आप समझना, जहां जहां पर हम जिस भी चीज को बहुत ज्यादा कसकर पकड़ने की चेष्टा करते हैं, हमें सिर्फ लगता है कि पकड़ी हुई है, वो हमारे हाथ में होती ही नहीं. और जब आप किसी चीज को खुला छोड़ देते हैं, राधा रानी ने कृष्ण को खुला छोड़ दिया. ये ब्यूटी है रिलेशनशिप की. ये हमारे सनातन धर्म में कृष्ण की स्टोरीज ने बड़ा अद्भुत सुना है. जहां पर आपके मन में किसी के प्रति ओनरशिप, वो व्यक्ति आपका है, आप ओन करने लग गए हो. आपको बताओ, किसी भी रिलेशनशिप में you feel that that person is yours, the whole thing changes. When this thing, I think, who's the person who asked this question? What is his name?
Udit Jain.
Okay. क्योंकि इसका उत्तर भी रुक्मणी ने ही दिया जगत. बिकॉज रुक्मणी के कान पक गए थे. किस बात से पक गए थे? इस बात से पक गए थे कि anywhere that she used to travel, she used to see glorifying of Radha Krishna ki jai ho, Radha Krishna ki jai ho, and nobody could narrate the name of Rukmani Krishna ki jai. There was no one anywhere saying Rukmani Krishna ki jai ho. It was only Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna. When we say Shri Krishna, Shri stands for Radha. So Rukmani was so filled in her ears. So when it was the solar eclipse and everybody was meeting, she had never seen Radharani. And that one day when the Brajvasis came to Kurukshetra and Krishna heard about Brajvasis, Krishna ran towards the Brajvasis and he was literally taking the feet of his parents on his thighs to see that they have walked all the way from Vrindavan to Kurukshetra. And there Yashoda Maya said to Krishna that Radha has also come. And just imagine, Krishna is sitting in that tent, in the battlefield, in that huge, massive ground. तब तक battle का हुआ. वहां पर खड़े हुए तो पीछे रुक्मणी just overheard it. कि the next tent there is Radharani, and she said, "Oh my God, I need to see this person." And the moment she entered, see how our Shastras have made people understand. It was Krishna and Rukmani entered the tent together, and as she entered the tent, she could literally see that Krishna surrendered to the feet of Radha. Krishna surrendered to her feet. And when she was literally surprised to see Krishna surrendering to Radharani. She was wanting to see Krishna, and when she saw Krishna, it was as if an illusion created in her eyes. She saw both interchanging their places. Sometimes Krishna became Radha, sometimes Radha became Krishna. That is the time when Rukmini realized that I am so, I'm nobody to come in between them because they both are one. Where love is the center of your being, you would not see two people. प्रेम होता है तो संवाद में शब्द बहुत बाद में निकलते हैं, इशारों में बात हो जाती है, आपको दो दिखते ही नहीं है। वहां पर कृष्ण और राधा रुक्मिणी को पहली बार दो दिखे ही नहीं, एक ही दिखे, उसे वो अलग दिख रही थी। उस दिन उसने अपने मन के अंदर कहा, राधा कृष्ण की जय। हरि बोल।
Anurag, you are taking it because I am getting goosebumps and I am like, I don't have any words to end the session and say anything.
No, we should end it. We'll definitely come whenever you invite us again on a topic that, definitely.
Everybody is requesting for a sequence and an ongoing session with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Tejashree, for coming and giving us your time, and everyone else who's listening to us. I know a lot of people are going back with disappointment because their questions could not be asked, but I promise you that we will get back Tejashree whenever he has time, and we all can listen to whatever he has to share with us, and whatever questions you have, we will definitely ask him those questions. Thank you, Sipping Thoughts. Thank you, Meeta, for organizing these beautiful sessions, and everyone who was a part of it. Thank you so much.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Anurag.
Radhe Radhe.